Update for Matchday 3. For Matchday 3, my strategy is to activate the Wildcard Booster. This will give me unlimited transfers and allow me to completely rebuild my team for this round. My goal is simple. I want to target players from teams that not only need a result, but are also facing opponents that are weaker on paper. Those are usually the teams with the highest fantasy potential. So let's go group by group. Starting with Group A, Mexico has already secured first place in the group, so they have very little incentive to go all out in their final match. The other three teams still need a result, but none of them have what I would consider an easy matchup. Because of that, I won't be targeting any players from Group A. Moving on to Group B. A month ago, Switzerland would have been one of my favorite teams to target. They still need a result, and on paper Canada looked like a favorable opponent. However, Canada has impressed me throughout this World Cup. They have been much stronger than expected, and I no longer see this as an easy matchup. For that reason, I am going to stay away from Group B as well. Now let's look at Group C. This is one of the groups I am targeting heavily. Both Brazil and Morocco still need a strong result, and both have favorable matchups against weaker opponents. That combination of motivation and matchup quality makes them excellent fantasy targets. Expect several players from Brazil and Morocco to make my final squad. Group D is much less attractive. The United States has already secured first place, while Turkey has already been eliminated. That means the teams that still need a result are playing directly against each other, making the outcomes much harder to predict. Because of that uncertainty, I will avoid players from Group D. Now to Group E, Germany has already qualified as group winners. The interesting situation here is Ivory Coast. A victory over Curaçao would likely secure qualification, and on paper Curaçao is the weakest team in the group. That means Ivory Coast has both motivation and a favorable matchup. As a result, I will be looking closely at several Ivory Coast players. Next is Group F. Tunisia has already been eliminated, while the Netherlands still needs a result. The Dutch should be highly motivated and will be facing an opponent that has struggled throughout the tournament. That makes the Netherlands one of my favorite teams to target for Matchday 3. Now let's talk about Group G. Every team in this group desperately needs points, which normally would make it interesting. The key matchup between Belgium and New Zealand looks very ideal. Group H is another difficult group to predict. Spain versus Uruguay is one of the biggest matches of the round, and I don't expect either side to dominate. With so much uncertainty, I won't be selecting players from those teams. Group J is fairly straightforward. Unless Argentina suffers an unexpected setback in Matchday 2, they should already have qualification secured. That reduces the fantasy appeal of their players for Matchday 3, so I am likely to look elsewhere. In Group I, the team that interests me most is Senegal. If Norway defeats Senegal as I currently expect, Senegal would then need a strong performance against Iraq in the final match. That could create a very attractive fantasy opportunity. Group K is another group I am avoiding. The final match between Colombia and Portugal is difficult to predict and could go either way. Since both teams are strong and evenly matched, I don't see enough upside there. Finally, Group L, England may already have qualification secured and therefore may not need a result. Croatia, on the other hand, could still have a lot to play for. If Croatia needs points heading into the final round, they become one of the most attractive fantasy teams available. So after reviewing every group, the teams I am focusing on are Brazil, Morocco, Ivory Coast, the Netherlands, Senegal, and Croatia. Now let's use those teams to build the final Matchday 3 wildcard squad. Now that we have identified the teams we want to target, it's time to build the actual squad. Let's start with the goalkeepers. My first goalkeeper will be Courtois from Belgium. Belgium still has everything to play for, and Courtois always gives you the potential for clean sheet points while also being capable of making enough saves to add extra fantasy points. My second goalkeeper will be Dominik Livakovic from Croatia. Croatia should still be highly motivated heading into Matchday 3, and Livakovic has consistently proven that he can deliver both clean sheets and save points in major tournaments. Moving into defense, my first defender is Hakimi from Morocco. This is exactly the type of fantasy defender I love. He doesn't just defend, he attacks constantly, creates chances, gets involved in the final third, and always has the potential for assists or goals. Next is Virgil van Dijk from the Netherlands. The Dutch have a favorable matchup and need a result. Van Dijk gives us a strong clean sheet foundation while also being a threat on set pieces. From Brazil, I'm selecting Gabriel Magalhaes. Brazil should be one of the strongest favorites in Matchday 3, and Gabriel offers both defensive stability and goal-scoring potential from corners and free kicks. I am also bringing in Denzel Dumfries from the Netherlands. Dumfries is one of the most attacking full-backs in international football. When the Netherlands dominate possession, he often finds himself playing almost like an extra winger. Rounding out the defense is Kalidou Koulibaly from Senegal. If Senegal needs a big result against Iraq, I expect them to push hard for a clean sheet and a convincing win, making Koulibaly an excellent fantasy option. Now let's look at the midfield. From Morocco, I'm doubling up with both Ismail Saibari and Brahim Diaz. Morocco has an excellent matchup, and both players have the creativity and attacking upside to deliver fantasy points. From Belgium, I'm bringing in Kevin De Bruyne. Even when Belgium is not at its best, De Bruyne can create something out of nothing. He is one of the best playmakers in world football and can rack up points through assists, chances created, and goals. From Croatia, I'm selecting Martin Baturina. Croatia may need a result in the final group match, and Baturina has shown the ability to contribute both goals and assists. And of course, I am keeping Vinícius Júnior from Brazil. Brazil has one of the most favorable situations heading into Matchday 3, and Vinícius is always capable of producing a massive fantasy haul. Finally, let's talk about the forwards. My first striker will be Matheus Cunha from Brazil. He should get plenty of opportunities against a weaker opponent, and Brazil's attacking style creates chances for everyone in the front line. My second forward is Cody Gakpo from the Netherlands. The Dutch need a result, and Gakpo remains one of their most dangerous attacking weapons. And for my final forward, I'm going to spend big and bring in Kylian Mbappé. Even though France is not one of the teams I heavily targeted when building this squad, Mbappé is simply too dangerous to ignore. He can score against anyone, anywhere, and at any time. If there is one player capable of producing a double-digit fantasy score in a single match, it's Mbappé. So that's the current draft of my Matchday 3 wildcard team. Of course, things can still change depending on the results of Matchday 2, injuries, suspensions, and confirmed lineups. But as of right now, this is the squad I would be comfortable going into Matchday 3 with.